for any reason that a child could not live with their birth parents, you could quite easily become a kinship carer, and you probably would make that decision. Hi, I'm Kelly, I'm from Bradford, and I'm a kinship carer to my nephew. I live with my husband, 2 daughters, and my nephew. So the term kinship is not widely understood and never has been. I was a kinship carer for 7 years before I even heard the term, which is odd. Like, I was like, a what? I'm a what? Kinship care is when a friend or family member steps in to raise a child who can't live with their birth parents for a number of different reasons. Often in a crisis moment, often not planned, not emotionally, financially or practically equipped to do so, but they do it anyway out of love. You're never really prepared for what that means for your family. We weren't equipped to understand what trauma meant. We weren't equipped to understand what additional needs might be present. We'd met Kinship, the charity, sort of 6 years in to Caleb living with us. They had a project worker in Bradford in our local authority who I'd met, and I'd linked in with her and sort of met a peer support group and was starting to get some advice and some support. Because of meeting that project worker, I then quickly engaged with the organisation in volunteering. And then during the pandemic, I had a phone call from that said project worker who said, there's a job going in Bradford for a project worker. Would you apply? And I'd been out of work for 10 years because Caleb's needs were so great that there was no way I could be in work. I was then part of the Value Our Love campaign, building the campaign, shaping the campaign, which is funded by Comic Relief. And I sat on the steering group for that as a kinship carer with lived experience, but also as a staff member from the organisation. And I was part of the launch. I did a speech in Parliament, very emotional. And then I very quickly realised that although my job as a project worker was amazing, I was only fixing things short term for people, so I wanted to be more involved and influence on a larger scale. So I became a senior campaigns officer at Kinship, which is where I sit now. You know, there's a term, it takes a village to raise a family, right? Well, kinship carers do.